Now, if you're planning on using these types of graphites, I highly suggest that you make them a little sharper. And like I said, that unless you have a thick enough, this is about a ½ an inch in diameter. So unless you have an actual pencil sharpener that will sharpen this, best bet is just to get a knife, a little X-Acto knife. So with that said, you start with a 2B. You start your preform drawing. And you can underpaint with this, so I don't know if you can see the whole thing yet, but I will use the mop brush for this. So I'm going to dip it in water, clean it out from all the old graphite from the other tin, and make sure these grab a lot of water. So you're going to basically, you're just going to add the first layers of color with this, and you will have to wait for the layers in between to dry. This is a 6B, and I'm not, at this point I'm not waiting because I really don't have time. So I just made my little line, and then I'm going to add the shadowing here. And I'm going to use the 6B again. No, this is 9B. 6B. Okay, and then I'm going to use the 6B, and I'm going to add some more detail. And then I take the brush and I just wash it out. Sometimes what happens whenever you add detail while the paper is still wet, it acts like ink, so you can't move it around, you can't wash it out. So again, I'm gonna go with my 6B. In the drier areas of the piece, or even if I have already gone over it with a brush, I'm still gonna go over it. Here's that. And again, remind yourself where the light is coming from, and then make that area much darker. Also, what could be happening is that the 6B is wet on the tip, and that's why it's not washing as much. Now here's 9B, and 9B is, for this kind, is the darkest that color that it comes in, darkest shade or tint for all of you art students. And I just really like the 9B. Now, I find these a little dry. They're not bad, they're just a little dry for me, for my taste. So here's the 8, the 10, and the 12. I'm gonna start with the 12. As you can see, this one is behaving as I feel it should. I love that look. You see how it kind of marries into the water and there's lots of grain on it. Let's see if I can do a little zoom. There we go. I love that look. And that is with the 12B. So then you take your brush, wash it down. You can even bring it up. So let's do darkness in her hair. One thing I like is that it looks like a pencil has been through the paper. It doesn't look like it washes all of the strokes of the crayon, of the water-soluble graphite. I don't want to wash all of those parts of the illustration because it gives it character. As you can see, and even if you were to wash it off, you can add them back in. I'm gonna put in some shadowing with the number 10. Apologize, I wasn't in focus when I did this, but I used the number 10 and I get my mop brush, get it loaded with water, and brush it in. And just let it dance around. You could bring it up and use the same mop brush with just water and blend it out. And there you are. Now, these are great for doing bigger parts of the piece, but whenever you need to have more detail or small detail into a piece, these would be the ones that you want to use. Now, this is the Gioconda is a 4B, and the Faber-Castell is a 6B. So I'm going to add some detail here. And for those who are asking, well, don't you do a preformed drawing to see where the eye goes or whatever? No, I've been doing this long enough that I don't need to do that. Some people do, some people don't. And I don't. The beauty of this is that you can erase if you make a mistake, so I feel I made a mistake on the mouth. There you go. And I'm gonna go back with the same pencil. There's a lot, this line is really intense and it could be blended into the background. It doesn't need to be this crazy, and you could add more hair, give the hair more detail. You're obviously gonna add more eyebrow here, more eyebrow here. Obviously an ear, which is just start right about there. Okay. And the chin, the line of the chin usually goes all the way to the ear, just a tiny bit behind it. I don't like this straight line like that. I usually like this, just make them a little curvy. And this is her other shoulder. This should be her bust line. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm going to wash this part out, because we have wash here. It doesn't need to be, but we have a wash here. And this will actually soften up and soften up certain areas and darken others. So just keep that in mind whenever you're going to go over it. And when things are far away, it's okay to make them blurry. And I'd say that's far away. I would add more water. Even if it bleeds like that, it's still beautiful.